We've just been given word we're rolling. That's right. The director has slated the camera and the what else do you use on a movie set? I don't know.
Lights.
The
Camera
lights are
and
lit.
action.
The Hollywood sign has been changed to Hollyweed. Oh no! Don't do that. Remember somebody did that?
Yeah.
And they made it say that instead of Hollywood.
Crazy.
Which was the gag. But welcome everybody. We are back for a brand new creepy old Crypt. This show's been gone for a little while. You know, again, we had the momentum stolen from beneath us because we were this is a show that we talk about theme park stuff, dust off old things that maybe we haven't talked about in a long time. We're a couple of theme park nuts, and that's what we do. We like to talk about that kind of thing, and but we would shoot it in the parks and around the parks, and they're still closed, at least here in California.
Yeah.
So, we kind of do these sporadically now. It used to be every month, and it's kind of waned a little bit because it's like, hey, I want to do a Frontierland episode in Frontierland. So sue me.
Closed.
Can't go. So
you can't do that.
Anyway, but we have something we want to talk about because there's been a lot of drama with this lately. And it didn't really matter what location we filmed it in because it's sort of a vague concept. It's more of a thing that has existed in recent years, but it's gotten more and more and more turmoil behind it, good and bad. And that is the concept of the theme park annual pass.
Yes.
Where you pay for a pass
for the year.
I could have had one on me. I could have used a prop.
I got one on me.
Okay. Well,
I will say though, it is the outdated.
Oh, it's the outdated design.
Yeah. It's the outdated.
We only like to. Show
I have like all
stuff.
of mine still in my wallet.
You know what? I found a drawer. I was going through my old archived stuff, and I think I have every annual pass I ever had. I am a pack rat with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the annual pass, you pay for a year. Boom. That's the class. They had that design with all the characters on it for way too long.
Yeah.
For 15 years, or at least a decade.
Long time.
And it was can you change the image on here? You just put something cool on there. Once they bought Marvel and Star Wars, it was can I get a card with Darth Vader killing all those dudes or something? Why do I have to look at Goofy every time? Anyway.
Universal Studios had multiple ones. They were different ones, and when I bought mine, it gave me Minions. It's random.
Yeah.
Of what's next in the printer, and I'm like, yeah, would I be able to get a different one? I don't want Minions on this thing. And we have these. Pick the one, and we'll just kind of pull it out. So it's next in line, and I picked the tram ride because that's the classic.
That's the only attraction I care about there, to be honest. What other ones do they have?
They'd probably be Back to the Future and stuff like that. The ride isn't there anymore, but I think they have stuff.
That brings up a good point, though. Universal has theme park access to all these franchises that it blows my mind they don't do anything with. Obviously they want to have stuff for the newer generation, and that's good. Where they just made a new Secret Life of Pets ride. I mean, it's not
open yet, but it's done.
Yeah, but it's sitting there. They want to have stuff like that, and I get that. But they're also sitting on Back to the Future, and they have the theme park rights to Ghostbusters and other stuff like that. These are evergreen franchises that constantly make money, and there's nothing in the theme park?
Nope.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. But anyway.
Annual passes.
Why were we talking? Oh, yeah. But I was curious what else they had. That doesn't matter. Anyway, annual passes. We have had annual passes. Primarily, we're probably going to talk about Disneyland here in California.
But I've had it for multiple places.
Yeah. And we're just going to talk about the stories we have from using those over the years, perks we've gotten, things we've gotten to do, any drama with them, any negative kind of things about them. We have a lot of stories to tell, a lot of things to talk about. So that's what we thought we would get into today, especially because of the recent drama where Disneyland announced they're ending theirs.
Yeah.
Hey, our annual pass program has been sunsetted. And And that's really all they said, but it's kind of
Yeah.
turned into all these headlines like, oh, Disneyland just took
Gone.
the guillotine to their annual pass, you
Yeah.
know, holders and
So I think it's
whatever.
overreacting,
But
yeah.
and we'll talk about that, maybe why that's not as extreme
Yeah.
as it sounds, but we have lots to get to.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I've always liked annual passes for me because I want something done and paid for that I
Yeah.
can go have fun
yeah.
and do. So it's not even just Disneyland, but like I'll get it for like the San Diego Zoo, and that is done with. Then I can just I feel like going to the zoo right now. Boom, gone, done. And that's why I like it, because it's just something in my wallet that's fun to do, and it's already paid for. Don't have to worry about it.
You can you like something where you could just walk in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I want to at any moment just walk in and do something fun.
And that is that. Well, so for me, that wasn't really anything on my mind. Sean was here a minute ago and talked about this, but for me, it was around 2005 or so.
Yeah.
And the annual pass was really cheap at that point for Disneyland. But I was like, I really discovered, I went there in my earlier years and thought it was really interesting. And it was only once I was in my 20s, I was like, there's some cool history here. Like, I like coming here. And anyway, Sean was telling me, he's like, hey, if you get an annual pass, all you have to do is go twice. And you've paid
it pays for it.
That's how cheap it was back then. And he's like, just go a couple of times and it's paid for it. And then you could just check out whatever you want. And there's no pressure to you have to go on everything.
Yeah, you don't have to fit everything in. Just whatever. It's way more relaxed.
So I was like, okay, sure. And then, sure enough, it was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I could just go and take some cool photos and go home. Or hey, let's go and get corn dogs and just go on Pirates over and over and over again and then go home. It put the pressure off of going, because I know I could go back again, next week or next month or whatever. So that was really, really cool. And so I was in at that point, and I, at that point, one by one, almost all my friends got one because it was so affordable. It was really cheap at that point. It was like, this is steal. I don't know if you could quite call it that nowadays, but at that time it was. And that was just like, hey, if there's nothing else going on, let's go there. Okay.
Yeah.
And it gave me, it definitely gave me more appreciation for the place and all that kind of stuff. And I really found my hobby there. I was like, okay, this is really cool. I really like doing this. But it wasn't until years later I ever even thought about getting one to other places. And it's so funny because the Disneyland one got more and more expensive. It's the only thing, I think somebody graphed out that from when they started the annual pass program to when it ended, it had gone up 880%. It's not like it had doubled over the course of it existing. It was 880%.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you have a place like Knott's Berry Farm, and I think that was $100 forever.
Yep, it's $100 to go all year.
Right? It's
and
still
it's ridiculous not to get an annual pass for Knott's if you're close by.
Yeah,
because it's so much cheaper and worth it compared to their normal ticket price.
Yeah.
So,
whereas Disney was it was maybe that much when we started. Around that, when we in the earlier 2000s when I started. And I mean that same what would that same pass cost now? I think I had a SoCal pass.
I don't
how much was that before they ended it? Wasn't it 8 something?
I think so. I don't honestly, it's been so long.
Yeah.
Because I've had almost every pass except for the new top pass that they had, the signature or whatever.
Yeah.
But I started at the very bottom of the tier with the SoCal Select or whatever, and I just worked my way up.
Yeah. Yeah, they got fairly expensive, but they always had a thing to pay for, monthly thing, so it was easier to pay for. But we'll get into that later. But anyway, but going with my friends back then, that was what really got me into it. And then it's funny because in having an annual pass, I really learned what level of Disneyland fandom or whatever you want to say, what level my friends were at.
Yeah.
Because I could have gone over and over again constantly, and I'm still like, oh, let's try to find this thing. Let's try to find that thing. Oh, I heard that you could still see the base of the House of the Future like at the edge of Tomorrowland. I heard that's right there. Let's try to find that. I could have gone over and over and over again, whereas I had other friends that were like, okay, I've gone twice. Wait, you want to go back a third time?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I want to go all the time. Like, this is great. So I did have friends drop off the annual pass after a couple of years, but
there was a time when we like all had them.
Yeah, we really did. We all had them. And it was just, like I said, varied levels of when they would want to go or whatever. But anyway, but it was always cool. I felt like there were enough perks making it worth it. And then, you could also pay an extra thing to have parking included,
which is required for me.
So this is what I was going to bring up is I've never seen, there's very few things I've seen Kevin draw a line in the sand on. And it was, if the pass includes parking, he'll do it. But if it doesn't, he's out.
I don't want to have to think about a charge when I go someplace. That's just not. It's not in my wheelhouse. If I'm going to Disneyland and I have an annual pass, I don't want to go. Okay, well, I have to pay $25 for parking. Or any of that. I don't want to do that. I will buy any pass at the level that includes parking. Just because that defeats the point of having this wallet of stuff already paid for. If I have to think about paying for something like parking.
I was just surprised whenever that got brought up how serious you got. And I was like, damn, he's
every single pass I have includes parking. Either I've added it or bought the level that included it.
I generally agree. I mean, but I got the annual pass for Knott's, and I did not pay for parking because I was like, really, how many times am I going to come? I don't know. I'm not sure. But man, it does sting when you pull up and it's like, all right, $20, please. It's like, didn't I already pay you?
That's why I hate that feeling of like, I have an annual pass. Why am I having? Okay, I get $20 out of my wallet. Here you go. Like that defeats the purpose of me not having to think about it. And so I added it to the pass, to the Knott's pass, because you can do that with any pass you want. And I thought it was totally worth it because it made it more like, I'm just going to stop there real quick. Like, even if I'm there for an hour, I don't have to pay the $20 parking. Like, to be fair, they do have, I think, same thing as Downtown Disney did, where they had a certain, like, you could park here for like an hour or two for free.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so we had passes all this time. At the least for Disneyland, but other parks too. But anyway, Disneyland would give you all kinds of perks with theirs, because we're primarily talking about that one. They would give you perks with theirs. You'd get, for me, Kevin, was focused on that. Like, Kevin's primary thing was, let me just walk in. Like, I don't mess with me. Let me just walk into the damn thing and don't bug me. For me, one of the perks that I liked was that you would get a discount on the merch in the park. So you'd get, whatever, 20% off everything or whatever it is. It varied from pass to pass. I liked that because I buy a lot of dumb stuff. So I was always a fan. It's like, oh yeah, they got this shirt that, I'm trying to think of the stupidest shirt I ever bought there. Well, I bought a stupid one recently, not at the park because it's closed, but they had a Spring Break 2020 Disneyland shirt. Just ordered. It looks like a dystopian kind of nightmare. But no, like, whatever stupid hat or something, to be like, for me, I like that kind of thing. So, I like them having a discount. So they would give you a discount. They would give you, was it a recent thing? What was the deal with photos? That wasn't until...
It wasn't until later.
They included photos.
Yeah, at one point, with a top pass, got you free on-ride photos. So basically, you'd go and then it wasn't you didn't get free printouts, but it gave you a code on the thing that you could punch in on the app, and it'll give you it'll just download that photo. So
so you could have the professional photographers in the park.
Same thing. You boot the thing.
That's normally a service you'd have to pay for, but when you had a certain pass, you could have them like, included. No, you take my photo. You have to.
And they removed that from those passes. But anybody who had a pass at that point, it was grandfathered in. And I loved that because I'd use that all the time. Because like, why not? Yeah. Do you want to take photos in front of the castle? Okay. And just beep it. You don't have to, you're not charged anything. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. But I was grandfathered in until this happened. So I don't think anything grandfathered in anymore. But I really liked that feature. Again, it's something that's already paid for.
Think you'd need like, oh, take a photo. Why do I got a camera I got, a cell phone. I'll take a photo myself. But then once you have that for free, and there's professional photographers standing out, or what, I don't know if they were professional photographers, but staff members anywhere, it's like, oh, you got the nice camera? Yeah, take a picture of me, eating fucking mashed potatoes. Here, take the picture. You have to do it.
It's just fun to like. It's a random thing you can do, and it's free. It's included with your pass.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I used it once I had that.
Yeah, we used it every game days for when we took the big group photos,
the big castle photo, and all that stuff. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, so that was these are all just kind of perks that they included with it, and but one of the things that they always did was well, I guess not always, but it was kind of sporadically, but over the years, they would have annual pass like events.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I loved those. And it wasn't
like
even
after hours events.
And they weren't even that long. There was probably like a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago. They were still doing these. And they were just after you get an email that said like, hey, sign up for this. It's included with your pass. It's just it's a after hours event. Yeah. Like you just come to the park and you hang out, and it was a lot of fun. I love doing those.
Yeah. I always thought it was cool and kind of like it would show appreciation. They would like, hey, we're having an after hours event. Come down. There's going to be a lot less people, so you'll be able to get on whatever rides. And I always thought that was cool. They kind of stopped doing that in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they phased them out, and I'm like,
and it kind of was like, oh, you don't care anymore.
The last really thing that I remember that they would do like that is the Wednesdays with Walt thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like nothing.
Wednesdays with Walt was like on Wednesdays they had some kind of vintage Disneyland kind of event.
Yeah, they showed in the Lincoln Theater. It's actually, I don't think it's called Lincoln Theater, but where they had Lincoln, and they would show like old Disney like the I forgot what they're called.
His old TV specials.
Yeah, they would talk about
things
lands
like
at Disneyland and stuff. It was great, and usually they had some freebie after you'd leave. They'd hand out like little backpacks with Baymax on it and stuff. It was cool.
It was whatever free thing they had a ton of.
It was a leftover. You could tell it was leftover.
So it'd be
stuff.
A Baymax bag, or like one time I went and they gave me a what was it?
Was it a Christmas ornament?
No,
I got one of those.
It was a tote bag. What was on it? It was like not Trolls. They didn't do that movie, but some little idiot thing from a Pixar movie. Some little Pixar guy. It might have been the things from Inside Out, like a little Inside Out tote bag.
Yeah,
and then there was a set of Star Wars trilogy bookmarks. It was like, where are these coming from? It was like, whatever we have laying around. Like, we'll throw that in. But anyway,
those were cool.
Those were cool. I went to what's weird though about it was. I've been an annual pass holder all that time. That was, it was like 15 years that I had it.
Yeah,
but and I heard this from other people too. Was like I just would not receive any of these things. Like sometimes they'd be like, oh, they just sent annual pass holders a book, like a photo book of the park, and it's like I didn't get one. Yeah. Oh, they just sent a magnet set. I didn't get one. And then when they would do those after hours events, Kevin, I'm telling you, I never got one invite. Really? I had an annual pass for 15 years, and I never got one thing.
They allowed you to bring other annual pass guests if you had it. So that's how you'd get it. Your parents would do it, and it was
my family got an invite. They got invited to a after hours Christmas thing, and we did get ornaments there.
Yes,
but there was barely anyone in the park.
Mm-hmm.
It was freezing, and it was so like empty, and it was spooky. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, these parks, the events were always really nice because it was just annual pass holders, and it cleared the park out. Like basically, it was after hours, after the normal hours and everything, and it was only for like a few hours. It wasn't like all night or anything.
No, but it's funny because I remember being outside the gates in line.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh my god, there's like 1,000 people in line. Like this, people said this is going to be empty, But seriously, people were like, there's like 1,000 people like in front of us. It's like, oh, this ain't going to be empty. And then you get in the park and you realize 1,000 people in this giant park
spread throughout the whole thing is nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
They're used to having hundreds of thousands of people there, and or however many. And 1,000 people, that's like releasing one Sasquatch into the entire North American forest. You'll never find them. Anyway, it was awesome though. It was really cool.
Those were a lot of fun.
And so yeah, nothing had a wait or anything. It was really, really cool. And those after hour events were fun. I think it was not long after that Christmas one that I went to. You got an invite again. No email from me. What the hell? But you got one for like they did like a
it was just
like kind of a blues event or a kind of a I don't know how to describe it, but it was in New Orleans Square.
Yeah, it was just
that
half. It was like the west side of the park.
Yeah,
and it was just like it wasn't. Not everything was open. It was just like those rides, Indiana Jones, Haunted Mansion, Pirates and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, it was that when the Mark Twain had a band on it.
Yeah, the Steamboat, they had a jazz band playing on there.
That was so cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say I do like about theme parks and live entertainment, because sometimes the live entertainment gets like put like down, like, okay, like that's not the important thing. The important thing is rides and this and that and whatever. But the one thing that I do like about having live entertainment in a theme park is that it's a modern day form of entertainment where you get a new, I don't know how to describe it, like a new context for some older art form that maybe kids today wouldn't be exposed to. You know what I mean? Like when, for a little while they had at the Lincoln attraction, they had the choir singing like really old American like songs and stuff like that. What other time would you be sitting there having to watch that? I say that like it's bad, but no, but sometimes you kind of need to be, I don't know how to describe it. Like at home, it's easy to pick and choose your entertainment. Yo, turn that off, turn that on, skip this part. Yeah, go to but the one thing that's cool about theme parks is like you'll be in on something and it's like you'll get exposed to something. You can't just fast forward, or you can't, whatever. And so I liked when they had the choir. That was kind of a historical thing. And then having a jazz band on the boat, people were just like, what's this all about? And they got on the steamboat. And I just don't know, I'm seeing us, but there's people younger than us too. And there might not be another opportunity that they would just be stuck on a boat with a jazz band where they would sit and watch that. And I like everyone left with a new appreciation of like, man, live jazz is pretty good. Like it's really entertaining.
It was
like,
a lot of fun.
I don't know if that makes sense what I'm trying to say, but seeing that performance was really, really good. And them going around the river during it, that was really awesome too. But again, these were just the perks that you would get, with an annual pass that would make you feel appreciated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So to see those parties go away over the last few years was kind of like,
it was like they were cutting back anything they could. And just making it about, you can go to the park or not. And then the discount, like they kept moving stuff around and like the photos got lumped into Max Pass. And then Max Pass was an add-on you could get for your pass and all this stuff. So they were just moving stuff around. So.
Yeah. It was in kind of a weird shuffle, but anyway, it's funny though, the after hours parties and stuff that they would do were cool, but when I've read about the ones that they used to do for the earliest annual passes, like I'm talking when they had annual passes in like 97.
Yeah.
Like, cause they existed a lot longer than we ever had them. Back then there were only like a few people, that had them, like very small groups. And when they had their after hours parties for them, it was like, okay, it's just like these 100 people, that's it.
Yeah.
And they would take them into like, all right, tonight, Country Bears is over there. It's closed down. We're just going to have you guys walk into it, like walk through it. So they would take them backstage on stuff like,
That's
okay,
so cool.
Everyone come backstage and look at how we operate the Country Bears. Okay, now go. We're going to walk into this ride and kind of look around though.
Yeah.
And check this out. It was like opportunities that people won't ever have.
Yeah.
Again, they would never do that now.
Oh,
there's like 1 million annual pass holders now, but at the time it was really just, barely anybody. So, anyway, reading about those early annual pass holder parties, it was just like, oh.
I remember being a kid and going to Disneyland, like the mid 90s and everything, and seeing that they had annual passes. And I'm like, what like rich king could possibly afford going to Disneyland more? Like, because the idea of getting an a year pass to Disneyland blew my mind at that point. And yeah, little I know, like 10 years later, I've been doing that too, because it's reasonable. Well, it was back then. That if you were going to go more than a couple times in that year, it's better to get an annual pass.
Yeah. But man, yeah. So there were all kinds of perks to doing it, and whatever. But now on the darker side of stuff, I feel like over the years, to kind of speaking to what you were talking about, there was kind of people would have the annual passes for years, and it kind of was looked at as like, oh, you're like this level fan, I'm just going for a day, but you're an annual pass holder. I feel like there developed this kind of elitism. And I'm not talking the perception of them. I'm talking about there are people who were annual pass holders that kind of gave it a bad name, because they would act like they owned the place.
Yep.
And anybody who's worked at the parks knows that they had a very specific name. Passholes. Johnny liked that one. John, we gotta laugh out of it.
I've heard of so many stories about people going, like, complaining and just going, I need to be treated better. I'm an annual pass holder. You owe me this. Yeah. And no, I'm sorry. You're a guest at this park. They would show okay, can you get my son on this ride before anybody? And it's like, no, you got to wait back here. You don't understand. I'm an annual pass holder. Oh, okay. Oh, like it definitely developed, and I don't know what started it. Like I think about like it's a chicken or the egg thing. Like, did the parks make them feel that way? Was it you know what I mean? Like where did that develop? Where did that start? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I definitely think sometimes the perception of people who had annual passes was a little bit much. Like, they're, it's not like they're all assholes, whatever, but clearly there is a real problem when there is enough people that are demanding and annoying and asshole-ish enough that they kind of are giving it a bad name. Yes.
And they would say stuff like that. Yeah. That like, don't you know I'm an annual pass holder? Well, you'll do it for me. I have an annual pass, you're not going to turn me down on this, it's like, so that gives you, you feel like you have power over me. What does Bane say when he talks to the guy who paid him?
I don't remember.
Johnny, what does Bane say?
What does Bane? I like
here. You have control. You feel in control. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that people would use that as a flex, and then there are other people that would like go every single day and then make that like that. This is my thing. Like, they would act like they were kind of in charge of the place, and that did kind of give it a bad rap. Whereas like, it was a bummer because, people like you and me, we're not there every day. Like I go often in the sense of like, I go up to LA a lot and I'll stop there and I'll, because I have an annual pass, I can be there for 10 minutes and then leave. So that was really cool, but relatively we're not that close. I mean, we're still like an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're there every, that often, but when you had an annual pass, people would still lump you in with like, oh, you're one of those people that goes every single day.
No,
you're wrecking the park because, me and my Mima are on vacation and we went, and it was people who are there every day and they're quoting all the rides and they're, doing all this stuff and making it a bad experience. And I hate that. I have an annual pass and I hate that too.
Yep.
I don't like that either. Stop doing that.
Yep. I have an annual pass, and I've never told a cast member that I've had an annual pass.
No,
ever.
Me neither.
Not once. Don't need to.
But there are people that definitely give it a bad rap.
Yep.
And I guess in a sense, so the news was recently that they ended the annual pass program for the time being.
Yeah.
And I guess in a way, there's part of it that was kind of awesome. Like, okay, those people can now, we've dethroned them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But it sucks in the sense that I want to go whenever I want. And now I can't. But we've kind of talked about this, though.
Yes.
That there's not all this news that they've ended the annual pass program is kind of sort of like irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because the parks aren't open.
Yeah. It's just like how they announced that they're ending sunsetting the annual passes.
Yeah.
And all this it's like, well, how are you guys going to go? It's not open. Like,
yeah, it's like, well, the argument is irrelevant. Oh no, what's going to happen? They ended it. Okay. So when it opens again, then they'll probably do it again. Like what? Like it's not. That's it. That's all that's been said is like the park is closed, so we're ending the annual pass program. Okay.
And everybody that blew up, and everybody ran with that. There's no more annual passes. That's it.
Yeah.
And now already they're all like, yeah, we plan on having new annual passes by the time we reopen. Like all this stuff. It's like okay, yeah. Like
they're not going to continue the program for the year. It's been closed almost a year at this point. And to keep dealing with, we got to renew it. People don't want their passes to expire and they want to do all that. No, they're just going to end it. And then we'll revisit that when the parks can be full capacity.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem that crazy to me.
No.
And I think a lot of the news places, a lot of the papers and stuff like that were kind of propping this up as like, wow, Disney just said goodbye to all their annual pass holders.
If you want to go, you got to pay a ticket like everybody else.
Because that's the end of annual passes forever. And it was like, that wasn't in anything that they said.
No. People just ran with it like it was that, the annual passes are done. If you want to go, you got to buy a ticket, a day pass.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I don't think that's the case. Like,
yeah, I never heard anything like that. It's funny because when that news broke out, I saw a lot of people kind of respond to it with, yeah, you know what? I heard they were going to end annual passes. I heard that because I heard it wasn't sustainable because I heard that annual pass holders don't they take up they there's too many crowds of them. There's just too much crowds. And I just think like, what? You don't think they want crowds?
Yeah. Disney wanted to limit the amount of people in there because there's too many lines.
Yeah.
You don't think they want lines?
Yeah, I don't like. I know they definitely want to. They want to make it a better experience for all the guests.
Yeah, fully.
I get that.
But more people in the park means more money in their pocket.
Yeah.
And the idea of taking a whole chunk of that and just throwing it away.
Yeah. And I've always heard some of the other stuff. That has never made sense to me. Like, yeah, they're tired of the crowds, man. They're tired of the crowds? Like, if we built our own theme park today and it was crowded every day, you think we'd be at home going, oh, no.
Yeah.
How do we get these guys out of here? No, I know that they want to find the right blend of, like, charging people enough to continue making that money while not having to have it be packed to the gills.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the logic in removing like people are like, yeah, they're going to get rid of them. They're annual pass holders are, well, this is something that I've heard a bunch of times. Annual pass holders are actually the worst type of guests because, well, I mean, there are reasons that may be true, but that they're the worst because they actually spend the least on stuff and they go every day. So they're just taking up room and they're not buying souvenirs and food. Now, I don't have scientific data in front of me.
Yeah.
But that does not match with anything I've ever seen. First of all, this is where I may be wrong, and I'll freely admit it. I feel like if I'm going there with a family and we all just bought a ticket. We don't have a pass. We just bought a ticket. That's going to be a trip where I go, okay, we all bought tickets for the day. I'm probably that's when I would probably bring a lunch and not buy a lot of souvenirs.
When I went as a kid,
because it's expensive to go.
When I was a kid and we went
Yeah.
as a family, we
Yeah.
would always bring our food.
Yeah,
And it wasn't until I got an annual pass that started buying our food in the park.
yeah.
Like-
Because when you have an annual pass, you didn't pay a dime to walk through the door.
Exactly.
I mean, technically, but here that's the psychological trick. Is
Yeah.
at home you're paying per month,
Mhm.
but when you get into the park, you haven't bought anything.
Yep.
So I know more annual pass holders going there and having dinner and buying this thing and
Just make it a fun evening. And I don't buy a lot of things at Disneyland, but I sure buy food. Like,
Yeah.
I love food at
yeah.
Disneyland.
Anytime
Like,
I'm there,
Yeah.
But also on top of that, let's say that because there may be like an argument for like maybe like people who are retired that go there every day and don't buy anything. Let's say that that's true.
Yeah.
They're still paying a pretty nominal fee every month
To go, like, yeah.
to have the pass.
Mm.
Do you think they would buy a ticket once a month, 12 months out of the year? I don't think they ever would.
Yeah.
So they're still making more money.
Yep.
It just makes when I look at it from every angle, it doesn't make sense to me why they would not want annual pass holders. Like I think they want people to go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I see it. I don't know. But yeah, it just does not make sense to me. To say that they don't, to say that they're like that they don't contribute anything to whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they want all those people to go all the time. I think they want crowds. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. They would not want that.
Yeah.
But again, I get that maybe you don't, that I don't know. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I get it. I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's never really added up to me. But so anyway, so I had a lot of people asking me like, are you worried about the annual pass situation? Or like, what are you going to do? I know you love going. Like, what are you going to do? I'm just like, it's closed.
It's closed.
when-
I'll wait till they show their new offerings of what the annual passes will be, and I'll decide. Like,
yeah, I'm sure now it definitely will be different.
yeah, totally.
It definitely will be a different situation, but yeah, okay. I'm sure there'll be something where I can go a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be some form of that. So I'm down, whatever.
Yep, I'm
they
down to
choose
look and
do.
see what they come out with. And see what it is.
There's been a lot of options. Thrown into like they're doing like guest surveys and stuff like that.
You're not
like,
allowed to like.
Yeah, which they're not supposed to share. No. They're like private.
But all these big Disney sites are like, here's a screen cap. And
yeah. Look what someone showed us. They're getting surveyed about this.
Yeah.
But anyway, and the options are interesting where it's like maybe they'll have it be more customized. Like, oh, here's different points for different stuff. Like, hey, maybe you don't get a discount on merch, but you get free parking. Or maybe you only get a discount on parking, but you get more days you can go to the park. Or maybe, like you may trade things off, which I don't think that's the worst idea. Yeah. I mean, like, you don't really buy a lot of merch. So
no,
you don't
but
really
I do
care.
buy food, and I hope that it doesn't get lumped together with merch.
Yeah, so maybe that's something that would be different, like that. Maybe that's more important to you,
Yeah, the most important thing for me though is parking. Going back to the parking thing, it's like if I got free parking, but I had to pay $20 at the gate every time I went.
Yeah.
If that $20 anywhere in the equation, I don't. My brain just shuts off. It's just like.
I don't know if I would mind that much. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be stoked about that, but I don't know. Anyway, it looks like it's a bunch of options like that, things like that of that nature that people are being surveyed about. So I wonder how they're actually going to go through with it. But also, like, annual passes aren't going to make sense when it first opens because it's going to be limited capacity. It's going to be like they're doing in Florida. It was like, okay, only 25% capacity and stuff like that. But,
So I'm looking forward to what they show.
Yeah.
Whenever they do.
Yeah.
I'm willing to wait. I waited this long. I didn't.
Yeah.
Like.
my brother said this to me, and it's totally true. But they would always give out annual pass holder magnets.
Yeah.
That had AP on them and a mouse kind of in between, like
Yeah.
AP. The mouse is at the bottom, but the mouse, Mickey's ears and the way it was formed. My brother was like, anytime I see that magnet, I think AVP. He's like, I've never not seen that magnet and not thought Alien versus Predator. I was like, that's same for me.
Great.
When I see that, I think,
that.
Alien versus whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, one of the other things though that I think it pays to remember as well is like, with having an annual pass to a theme park, and again, like the Knott's one, that's a really good deal.
Really good deal. I love.
Like I said, it's like $100.
Yep.
And you could go any day, right?
Yep.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
think there's any blackout dates,
Yeah.
and it works the whole year. And theirs typically isn't a year from when you buy it. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
But back then it was you bought a year pass.
Yeah.
And if you bought it closer to the end of the year, it would be next year and then a few months into so you could go. It was all this stuff, but you bought like January 1st to December 31st.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such a good deal because like normally it's like 60 or 70. I don't know how much it goes, but if you go like after hours, it's like 45 to go to Knott's, and it's like $100, and you can go all you want.
Yeah.
It's great.
Johnny, are you okay?
Oh,
He just breathed in weird. Why did he do that? Why didn't he breathe in normal?
it was down the wrong pipe.
Classic inhale.
Spit down the wrong pipe.
I think it's a cover up, dude. I think he's got something. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Yeah. Rhymes with Strovid. Yeah.
But I did love the Knott's pass, and I will plan on getting a Knott's pass when it's available again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a good deal. It was so much fun to go.
Yeah. I hope that comes back.
Yeah.
Your wife is in the chat
Yes.
right now. I'm looking at
Yeah,
her,
she is.
and she's really distracting the whole show. And I want to say stop. No, what I was going to say, but she brought up a good point. She said there's a lot of talk that these new passes are going to be reservation. Like you can't just show up at a park. You got to make a reservation. That is being brought up, but in a lot of the surveys, I've seen that you get a certain amount of anytime reservations.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, a trade-off. Again, like maybe you get more of those if you don't get a merch discount, or maybe you get, maybe you trade up for stuff, but it seems like there's at least you get a certain amount of those. Again, this is just a survey, so no one
who
knows
knows what will actually end up being
the
case.
Rachel was bringing up that was. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know if we're you want me to get into this.
No, go for it.
That's when you proposed to her.
Yep.
You were at like 8:00. Like, yo, you want to go to the park? Yeah.
And
then it was like you sprang that on her, which was rude, by the way. She probably wasn't expecting that, and then.
But
she had to say yes.
That's one thing that that's the one thing I'm like hoping that not looking forward if that's the case is I will miss the like, oh, it's 7.
Yeah.
Like let's go to Disneyland. Fuck it.
The spontaneity.
And go yeah.
Yeah. That's something that is definitely different from California to Florida. Florida really likes let's plan our Disney World getaway, and I'm gonna plan it 6 weeks ahead or 6 months ahead. In Disneyland, it's like, yo, I'm off work. Do you want to go to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Like it is so the opposite.
Disney
here.
World is like a vacation getaway.
Yeah.
And Disneyland is some of that, and then a hangout for Southern California.
Yeah.
Like LA and stuff like that. It is just, hey, let's go to dinner and go on some rides and stuff like that. It is the hangout spot.
Yeah.
And Disney knows that. They're not going to throw that away.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they throw at us.
They've been using the reservation thing, I think, in Florida during all this, but I haven't heard anything bad about it. I don't think it's that hard.
I'm sure it's all within the app, and you just kind of go like, okay, made the reservation, let's go.
It's just, and they had for a minute before it all closed, they had a flex pass here too, where it was a cheaper pass, but you'd have to decide what days you want to go, and
and it was
let them know ahead of time.
Much cheaper too.
Yeah,
And I wonder how that's going to affect the prices of the new passes. If they're going to be reservation system,
Yeah.
are they going to be cheaper or what?
Yeah.
Like,
So that was from what I understand, it wasn't a super difficult situation. It was like you just got to let them know you're coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know many people that were like, "Oh, I couldn't get a reservation" or anything like that.
I'm really
didn't
laid
encounter
back. And so I don't get really angry and stuff like that about that kind of stuff. So I'm just hoping that it's a decent pass that they announce and it's something worthwhile. I don't want it to be like super limited, super expensive kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but again, like when we talk about like it being a hangout or whatever, stop calling me, please. When we talk about it being a hangout, though, it's not just us standing around. Again, it's like getting dinner there, and all kinds of stuff.
There was very rarely a time I'd go to the park and not eat at least one meal there.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff, but I think that I think they liked having it. There's a level of that they wanted there. Like people, I think they want people to come back again and again, I think especially with California Adventure, like Disneyland was a destination people would fly for.
Yeah,
like you got to go see that. But California Adventure, that park felt like this is a locals hangout.
Yeah,
that's what that
add-on.
became.
And the reason I would go over there is because it was included in the pass. So I would just, hey, let's hop over to Disney California Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, and they improved it over the years and made it where it's like, oh, I actually like want to hang there.
Yeah,
stuff like that. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't know how much of a destination it would be. If you didn't live here, I don't know how people feel about it outside.
Yeah.
California Adventure has always been a park in a very weird space because
it's a fun
like
park.
it came out and it was bad, but then it got better, but then it's still not Disneyland, so I don't know, it's in a weird
spot, but it's everything they've done is an improvement. Except I don't like Pixar Pier that much, but that's beside the point. But I'm excited for the new rides that are basically sitting there done.
Yeah, they've got Marvel stuff just sitting there.
Yeah. So
yeah, I hope that. I mean, I don't know. I really wonder when the parks are going to open again.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully soon.
What do you think it'll actually be? What is your prediction now?
I think right before summer. I think.
Yeah, my guess.
June,
I think it will be in a limited form, open May or June. Yeah, that's what I think.
So,
because I think by summer things will ease up enough, and hopefully in summer we'll be vaccinated or something.
Yeah,
and but I think it will be. I think May June in that range, because it only has to be within a certain thing.
Yeah, they already said like. The state didn't say you can't open. They basically said you can open when it reaches this level.
Yeah.
And so it's whenever it reaches that level, Disney is free to open.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's all it has to do is hit that and then they can open. So I think it's going to be like May or June. A limited thing. It's not going to be full blast open.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, I'm the only person that has a universal annual pass or had a universal annual pass. And I'm looking forward to that too. I'm definitely looking forward to being able to go to Universal again.
Yeah.
I like all the Disney theme parks. I mean, not Disney theme parks, Southern California theme parks that aren't Six Flags and just roller coasters.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Universal, I just, I go once and I'm fine. I like the backlot tram tour.
Yeah.
But
there's not a lot of
they just don't have attractions.
I love Jurassic Park. I love all that stuff. I love Waterworld. I love the studio tour. I don't know. I love
Waterworld is a 11 out of 10.
Yeah,
that's my favorite theme park show. Period.
Yeah, it's the
so
best.
that. But if I had an annual pass to Universal, I would see those Waterworld guys so much.
Yeah.
They'd probably know me by name. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy again." That's all I would do. I just go to that.
But there's a lot of goofy history with Universal still.
Yeah,
because it's
and
been
that's
around.
cool.
It's been around for a long
Yeah.
time. That there's still like my favorite thing is like what's left over, what remnants, like what weird thing is like. Oh yeah, this pole used to be part of this ride, and it's not there anymore. Universal's full of that, and I love reading about it and going and everything like that.
I do like the fact that it's a real working studio.
Yeah,
does add an electricity to being there, and it is cool. It's not like you shouldn't visit it.
Yeah, and we're getting Nintendo Land or whatever.
The Nintendo
they're building
thing
it right
opening.
now.
But here's the thing: what is that going to be? Because I'm scared that it's just going to be, oh, we only built like one roller coaster or something. You know, it's like I need confirmation.
Yeah,
give me some cute Nintendo stuff, and I'm there.
But
if you're not going to do that, if it's just going to be a Donkey Kong minecart and we're going to throw you in the fucking lava and it's real.
I have a feeling it's going to be the
it.
Mario Kart ride, and that's it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it's going to be Mario Kart VR or AR thing.
Yeah.
And
speaking of Nintendo Land, there's been more leaked videos come off the ride.
From
the
Japan?
Mario Kart thing.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it because I plan on going on it at some point.
It sucks because my first step is always no spoilers. Stop. Don't post that.
Yeah.
And then I'm always like, shit, but I need to know if this ride is going to like
scramble you up,
drop me or throw me off. Like I need to know that before I go on it. And then I'm always like, all right, just watch it.
Yeah.
But that video, I'm not going to talk about it that much. Somebody said AR goggle rides are dead after COVID. That's what's hilarious is that this Mario Kart ride that they did in Japan. Yeah, you wear a helmet. Oh, good timing on that.
Yeah,
great. But it's technically the grand opening hasn't happened, but they were letting people in. They were
doing soft openings a few weeks ago.
But anyway, I watched a video.
Mm-hmm.
That is a ride you can't judge by a video.
Oh, no.
Like, I watched it and I went, yeah, I don't know about this. Not sure. And then one thing happened and it was, wait, what? It really was. Someday we'll talk about it. But there was something in the video where it was like, I don't know how they just did that. Wait, that makes me question the rest of what I saw then. I don't know what's happening. Okay, can't watch a video of this ride.
Just wait till you ride
that ride you can't watch a video of. I really don't think so. But I also looked at, like, they have a Yoshi thing there, and they have a bunch of other stuff, and I looked at it. They have merch, because I love when they release all the merch.
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy's Edge bled me out. I'm still catching. I still have. It's been over a year, and I still haven't bought all the almost 2. And I still haven't bought all the crap that I wanted.
Yeah.
Every time I go, it's like, okay, get another thing, get another thing. Galaxy's Edge bled me because it was in-universe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets that.
Is the
kills
Mario
me.
stuff in-universe stuff?
That's just it. It's just Mario stuff,
Yeah.
Toad stuff.
I am not a big fan of like Mickey on things or Mario on things, but like
Yeah.
I like in-universe stuff so much more.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of I would never buy Mario stuff as I'm wearing this jacket on camera. No, but like this was cool. They had this some friends of ours that made some merch for Nintendo at PAX last year, made this, and it has like old artwork of Bowser on it. So I really like that. But you get that there. There's cool Nintendo merch everywhere. I don't know. I looked at a lot of the merch that is at the Nintendo Land or Super Nintendo World in Japan. And a lot of it is just like, yeah, it's a plush Mario, a plush Toad. Okay. There were a few things that were awesome. They had a couple cool shirts.
Okay.
But they had like a little squeeze Yoshi, and you'd squeeze him and his tongue would out, like that. Okay.
Like that frog.
Yeah.
Next to you.
Does that do that? Oh, no, it's down there.
Oh, yeah. It has I think the tongue goes out.
So that was cool. But yeah, Galaxy's Edge nailed that aspect where it's in universe.
That's my jam. I don't want stuff that like figures of Luke Skywalker and stuff like that in that world. I want like lightsabers and just stuff that's in universe.
Real objects.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
Not stuff. Here's a backpack with Darth Vader on it.
Yep.
Don't want that.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. So that's one thing, kind of stands alone. But Anyway, but there was still some cool stuff at the Nintendo thing. There was still, there were things that were like, oh, that's like directly off the ride. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to food stuff. I don't know. I
Yeah.
like trying wacky food things.
Yes. There's
So
plenty of that.
That's what I'm more excited
There's
about.
plenty of that. And in their little restaurant, there's like toads making you food and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. I've looked at videos of a lot of stuff, but there's stuff that I don't want to know everything too,
Yeah.
What kind of in-universe stuff would we want from Nintendo World? I mean, give me like a real thwomp.
Real one.
Like really, like let me set it off above the door when someone comes in. Concussion. No, I don't know. Or like a chain chomp. Put a chain chomp. You remember when you were a kid and you had the invisible dog leash or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Let me put a chain chomp on a dog leash and walk him around. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with the chat. The Star Wars does have more in-universe physical, tangible stuff. That was my worry with Nintendo Land or Nintendo World, Super Nintendo World. Seeing it is like, I love the Nintendo games, but what is going to translate to a physical world that I really want to go there? And then when they showed them like walking through Peach's castle, I was just like, oh, they did it. They did it. I want to go here. So anyway, but that's not the subject of today's
episode
thing. Yeah, it was annual passes. Was there any other stuff we wanted to talk about with that?
I'm trying to think. I remember at one point I had 4 annual passes to places.
Oh,
it was Universal, San Diego Zoo, Disneyland, and Knott's.
yeah.
And the 3 other ones were cheaper, by a lot than the one Disneyland pass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of incredible, and it should be said, like, they definitely were inflating that at a rate that was like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
So no defense on that. But I will say, like, that was something I got so much value out of.
Oh, God.
Regardless of what it, what it did cost. And that's kind of like the only other thing I want to say about it is like it did get a bad rap from these elitist assholes that abuse theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, that's like my hobby that I enjoy. I work hard all the time, and that was like, okay, my one thing to get away, I could just go there. An easy way to do it.
I always like to consider it a hobby because, it's just a fun place I can go to anytime.
Yeah.
It's already paid for, and I love it. I love the history of it. I love reading about rides that used to be, are coming, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
That is my hobby.
And I wanted to say, like, as much as they made it or as much as it got, and it got expensive but before they ended it in its current incarnation, but I still know people who spend more than that on Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who get Starbucks every day, and I calculate that in my head, and I'm like, my annual pass doesn't cost like a third of that.
Yeah.
So when you have the option to do like a monthly payment, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad. I know people who pay more for their cable bill because they like sports. So that, I don't know. Like if you're into something, you'll do that.
Right.
And I set other things aside.
Yeah. I make sacrifices in other places so I can afford this.
Yeah, so I could do that. And so that was something I really enjoyed. And the monthly thing really did help. Now, if you didn't live in California, they wouldn't let you have the monthly thing. You'd have to pay it all up front. And I do see it in that regard, like, oh my gosh, come on. Like, how can they ask for that up front? But being able to do it monthly living in California, you just set that aside and don't go to Starbucks every day. I don't mean to sound like I sound like one of the billionaire guys who's in the stock market who's mad about the GameStop thing. Well, if you stop buying avocado toast and invest, you can, I know I sound kind of like that, but no, it's like that was something I really loved. So I put other things aside that way I could do that. And like I said, I'm not getting Starbucks every day. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't drink.
I'm not going to the bar, or I'm not.
I'm
not doing any of those things. So that was like my one little getaway, and I do miss it. Like not having it. I've had things very good throughout this past year of COVID and all that stuff. Like I've been very lucky and better off than many can say, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
But having that getaway, like sometimes you do want to get the hell out of here.
And Disneyland,
that was an easy way to like totally not be in your normal
and you feel
space.
In a different place. Like you can't see the outside world
Yeah.
from the inside the park, so you feel just completely separated and everything.
Yeah.
I just hope with these new passes that they have an option for everybody.
Yeah.
And not pricing anybody out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they should make it as versatile as possible because say whatever, I mean, but there was clearly some kind of PR issue where it did seem like I know a lot of people who were dying to go, but they just looked at it as like, ew, no, I can't do that. That's like an unattainable thing, and I don't know how I would be able to afford an annual pass. But I think that that's what they need to communicate better is like there are ways to do it where you can go and, you know, do this instead of that or whatever. And it's not that hard.
even when they like, I used to have the top pass and then they split it up and they actually had different tiers. And there was a top pass that let you go in the last 2 weeks of December and New Year's and stuff. I was like, well, I never go that time. So I'm like, I'm not getting that pass. I don't care if I can't go that time. I'm not going to spend the extra money just to have the top pass, and I will get the lower one. Like,
So yeah, anyway, so there were, I think that's one thing they could do is better communicate like ways to do it for the people who do want to go. But again, like it is still an expense. So, you know, there's some people who aren't up for that and they're just like, you know, nah, but they're, hopefully they'll find something where everyone can go.
Yeah.
And not just Passholes.
I know.
Anyway, oh, the other thing I was going to say about that is they introduced a thing in the last couple of days, I think the last couple of days, where now they put all of Disney's social media that was for annual pass holders.
Yeah,
it was all stopped, but now it's all been changed to legacy pass holders. Remembering our the people who have had passes, in the years before. You're our legacy pass holders, and I really think. And I guess they're going to do perks for them, like, if you had an annual pass before, you can go and we'll do this for you, and we'll give you a bigger discount.
Yeah, that discount thing that they said like you could still use up until like February or March or something. They said that's like the first perk, and that there's going to be more perks after that.
Yeah,
so we'll see. Like, I
think it's because all these news sites spun the news story like, Disney hates annual pass holders, so they're getting
rid of everything.
Yeah, and I just I think that they saw that and went, oh, no, we don't want people to think that. No, we want them.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And so they're trying to, now they're doing, legacy pass holders. Yeah, you can, and it's so funny because people I follow on Twitter were like, great. Now another thing to make them feel entitled. Good. Good. That's what we needed. What were you going to say?
Did you see that Disney put out like they forecast whatever analysts they use and everything, they forecast a huge jump in attendance in 2022 because of a backlog of not being able to go.
Yeah.
And I just want to see how that works out.
Yeah, what do you think about that? I cannot decide.
Like record attendance.
I can't figure out if people are going to rush back or if it's going to be a long time and people are still going to be like, we'll see. Johnny, what do you think? I actually want a third-party opinion on this. You're not a pass holder. Do you think people are going to be like, yo, I've been missing it, let's all go? Or is it going to take a while before we're there?
I think you're going to get a lot of the people who make content from Disney, they're going to fucking bum rush that.
Oh, of course.
Day
they got
one.
Nothing better to do.
Day one, they're going to be lining up for sure.
I think like June, you'll see like the really like fanatical people go. And I think a lot of normal, I don't want to say normal, that's rude. But I think you'll see like the general public go in like late, August.
Make no mistake. No matter how much maybe we've defended ourselves or whatever, we are still psycho fans.
Yeah,
but I don't see you guys going immediately.
Psychotic people in the group. What's that?
I don't see you guys going immediately though. I see you guys like I can see you guys like waiting and really, testing the waters first.
Yes, I would definitely chill on that. I would let it go at least, a couple weeks, check out, like, how's it going over there?
I'm very patient.
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to wait as long as I need to.
Yeah.
I'll go again and I'll make that day really, really fun.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to wait as long as I need to.
Yeah, me too. And it's funny talking about Disney World. Some people say, well, hey, the people rushed there. And then I hear people go like, people didn't really show up. It's weird that there's both angles to it, but from everything that I've heard is that they didn't that during the holidays it was kind of rushed.
Mhm.
Like people went. But outside of that, I haven't really heard a lot. Like it's
No.
like they were going to make it like reservation only. You can't, this and that, whatever. And I've heard that they didn't even need to use the reservations because it was like, you just show up. There's no one here. Because it's still a limited capacity thing. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. I really don't know what to expect.
Nope.
But maybe by 2022.
Yeah, that's when they plan
Maybe
on
that's what they're saying. That'll be when the rush is.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that year will be a big rush of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they figure that out, but
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
But again, they thought there was going to be a huge rush of people when Star Wars Land opened.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen because everybody was going, I'm not going. There's going to be a big rush of people.
I mean,
Like-
for 5 years, all I heard from people was, I am not going when Star Wars opens.
No, it's going to be too crazy.
And then Star Wars opened, everyone stayed away, and then people were like, what happened? Where is everybody? Well, yeah, it's like, because it kept seeming like this big hassle on the horizon. Like, oh, that's going to be a mess. That's going to be a total mess. That's going to be a huge mess. So, yeah, it's like, why would you go?
Yeah.
But
And
better for me because I did go. I was the one psycho idiot that did go, and I had a great time.
mm-hmm.
So, anyway, people said they learned about this on Defunct Land. Well, this ain't Defunct Land, okay? We're defunct people, but this ain't a land. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, is there anything else to say about that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Johnny, you got anything you want to add?
How many annual passes are you going to get?
I've never had an annual pass anywhere, so maybe after this I'll figure it out.
Never had one anywhere.
Nope, never. I might get a Knott's one. That
Dude,
sounds rad.
Yeah, the Knott's one, it's just a good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal. And Knott's has 3 levels. And the one up includes the water park. And then the next one up, it includes all Cedar Fair parks. Because they own
In the
Knott's.
country?
In the country.
Wow.
Like, if you can go to any park that they own in the country at that third
You can
third
just
tier.
show up.
Yep. And I'm never going to go there. So I always get the bottom one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was funny. It's just like, oh yeah, we own all the other parks. Just this one works for all of them.
Yeah. But when am I? Yeah, I don't even know when I would go to those other ones.
Yeah.
Cedar Point.
Cedar Point, that's it.
Yeah. It's like when my Costco card from San Diego worked in Chiba, Japan. I was like, I can just walk in here,
Yeah.
and they went to Costco. That was what the taxi driver said.
Yeah.
He stared at my card for 10 minutes trying to figure out where I wanted to go, and then he went, Costco. Anyway.
So I'm looking forward to going again.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited. I wish the damn thing. I wish can we get the damn vaccine? Wait, hold on. I got to repeat the stolen joke again. What's Knott's plan with COVID? I'm waiting for the boysenberry vaccine. I've now said that on Twitter. That was originally, I think, a Jason Cryer joke, and I've taken it. And
Give me that Sad Eye Joe shot.
yeah, give me the sad eye Joe. What does that even mean? You got to quarantine for 75 years?
Yeah.
and sell?
He's got stuck in the
A few people knew what that meant. That's
Not
for
many
the-
people
that's
know
for
who
the
Sad Eye
insiders.
Joe is at Knott's.
Yeah. Is now a good time to get Movie Pass? Now's the best time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because there's actually more now to see with it than
It's
there were.
honestly a better deal now.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, mine hasn't worked for like a fucking year.
I know. I don't get
Sorry,
it.
I don't mean to curse.
I still pay them, but it hasn't worked all year. So
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're going to get
I
to the
don't know.
bottom of this right now.
yeah, honestly, I'm just glad I never even did it because I would hate to watch so many movies for such a
Yeah.
small price and then have it go under.
All my friends got to see like 100 movies.
I saw so
for
many
$5,
movies for
but
nothing.
then later it turned bad. So I'm glad I didn't do it.
I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't give him my money.
Yeah. Is the GameStop Pro card worth it? Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, because that company's only getting bigger and better.
Does Olive Garden still have a pasta pass?
I don't know. I heard they refunded it after Hannity ate all the breadsticks or something. Can you stop recording?